Right now, somewhere in your kitchen, there is a box of cereal waiting for you, a loaf of bread, a jar of jam. You wake up, and within minutes you eat. It feels normal. It feels human. But the real answer is far stranger. For most of human history, breakfast did not exist. Not as a meal, not as a habit, not even as a word in most languages. Your ancestors did not roll out of a cave and reach for food. They woke up hungry, and they stayed hungry, sometimes for hours, sometimes for most of the day. So what did they actually eat and when? The answer rewrites almost everything you think you know about your own body. Start with the body itself. Your stomach grows on a schedule, but that schedule is not ancient. It is learned. Anthropologist Herman Poncer spent years living among the Hadza, a hunter-gatherer community in Tanzania whose way of life closely resembles that of early humans. He tracked their energy use, their movement, their meals. What he found surprised even him. The Hadza often went without eating until midday, sometimes later. There was no fixed first meal. There was only food when it appeared and hunger, which simply waited. That waiting was not suffering, it was survival. Imagine you are standing in open grassland 200,000 years ago. The sun is rising, you have no fridge, no farm, no stored grain. Food is not guaranteed. It has to be found, tracked, dug up, or killed. Some days bring a kill by mid-morning, other days bring nothing until dusk. Your body had to be built for that uncertainty, not against it. And it was. Your liver stores glucose like a battery. Your fat cells hold reserves like a second pantry. Your brain, when blood sugar dips, does not simply shut down, it sharpens. Researchers studying fasting physiology have found that mild hunger can increase focus and alertness in the short term. This is not a coincidence. A hungry hunter who cannot concentrate does not eat that day. Evolution favored the sharp mind over the sluggish one. So why does modern breakfast feel so essential? Part of the answer lies in light, not food. Neuroscientist Sachin Panda, who studies circadian rhythms at the Salk Institute, has shown that your internal clock is set largely by when light hits your eyes and when you eat relative to that light. Early humans woke with the sun and stopped eating as darkness fell because there was no other choice. There was no artificial light to push meals later into the night, and no easy snack to grab in the dark. Their eating window was narrow, dictated entirely by daylight. You, on the other hand, can eat at any hour. A lamp turns midnight into noon. A refrigerator turns absence into abundance. The ancient pressure that once shaped your eating schedule has quietly vanished, but your biology has not caught up. Here is where the story turns strange. If your ancestors were not eating breakfast cereal, what were they actually eating in those early hours, if anything at all? Mostly nothing solid. Some groups drank water, some chewed on tough, fibrous plant matter left over from the day before. But the first real meal often did not come until movement had already begun. Walking, searching, digging for tubers. Food was earned before it was eaten, not the other way around. Compare that to your own morning. You eat before you move. You eat before you have done anything to deserve it, biologically speaking. Your ancestors flipped that order. Effort came first. Calories came second as a reward delivered by the world, not summoned from a cupboard. Harvard evolutionary biologist Daniel Lieberman has spent decades studying how the human body adapted to exactly this rhythm of movement and delayed eating. His research suggests that endurance, the ability to keep moving for hours without immediate fuel, was one of the defining traits that let early humans outcompete faster but less persistent animals. You were not built to sprint to the fridge. You were built to walk for miles on stored energy, then eat when the walking paid off. That changes how you might think about your own hunger. When your stomach growls at 7 in the morning, it is not because your body demands food. It is because your body has been trained day after day, year after year, to expect food at that hour. Hunger, in this sense, is less a biological emergency and more a learned appointment. Skip it once, and the discomfort you feel is not collapse. It is recalibration. This does not mean breakfast is bad. It means breakfast is optional in a way that feels almost taboo to say out loud. Think about how strange that would sound to someone 200,000 years ago. A guaranteed meal every single morning, regardless of effort, regardless of luck, regardless of the hunt. To them, that would not sound like routine. It would sound like magic or danger. A predictable food source in nature usually means a single, exploitable territory, the kind that draws competition and risk. Your ancestors thrived in unpredictability because unpredictability meant a wide, varied range, plant beds in one place, scavenge kills in another, water nearby just in case. Your modern body still carries the architecture built for that unpredictability, even while living inside total predictability. So what does this mean for you right now, standing in your kitchen? It means the knowing feeling you call hunger in the morning is not a warning sign. It is an old habit dressed up as a biological need. Your body can run for hours without eating because it was designed to. Pontzer's data on the Hadza, Panda's research on circadian eating windows, and Lieberman's work on endurance physiology all point toward the same quiet truth. You are not fragile without breakfast. You are simply unaccustomed to going without it. There is something almost humbling in that. The cereal box, the toast, the rush bowl before work, none of it is ancient tradition. It is recent invention, barely a few hundred years old in its current form, built around factory schedules and marketing campaigns more than biological necessity. Does that mean you should skip breakfast tomorrow? That is not really the point. The point is smaller and stranger and more personal than any single meal. The point is that almost everything you assume is natural about your own body might actually be cultural, learned, repeated so often it feels like instinct. Your ancestors did not fear hunger. They negotiated with it. They let it sharpen their senses, guide their movement, and reward their effort. You standing in a kitchen full of food that never runs out, rarely get the chance to feel that same negotiation. The hunger arrives, and within minutes, it is silenced. Maybe that silence is comfort, maybe it is convenience, but it is not and never was human nature. So tonight, when you wake up tomorrow morning and your stomach speaks first, before your feet even touch the floor, you might ask yourself a different question. Not what should I eat, but why exactly does my body think it needs to eat right now, and who taught it that? Because somewhere in your kitchen, there is a box of cereal waiting for you, and the real answer to why you reach for it has very little to do with hunger and everything to do with history.